דיני ממונות בשלשה Daf Tes, sponsored the Refuah Shlema for Avram Simcha ben Sipora. The Gemara on the previous daf brought 4 explanations of the dispute in our Mishnah between Rabbi Meir and the Chachamim concerning how many judges try a defamer. The Gemara on Daf Tes brings another 4 explanations. Number 5, Rav Ashi explains the case of our Mishnah. The wife was warned incorrectly for her infidelity. She was warned she would be lashed rather than executed. The law is, in such a case, she receives lashes. The Chachamim hold a court of 23 is required to administer lashes, whereas Rabbi Meir requires a court of 3. Number 6, Ravina's first explanation is the husband produced 3 or more witnesses, 1 disqualified. Rabbi Akiva holds, based on the verse, Al pi shnayim eidim o shlosha eidim. The unnecessary second term, witnesses, teaches no matter how many witnesses, they all combine into 1 testimony. 1 disqualified disqualifies all the others. Rabbi Yossi explains this rule applies only to capital crimes where there is a mitzvah to find ways to exonerate the defendant. However, for monetary cases, the court can rely on the valid witnesses. Rebbe holds the rule applies even to monetary cases. However, only if the invalid witness warns the perpetrator. He is then a witness, not just a spectator. Without such a distinction, murderers could not be accused for their crimes witnessed by 2 relatives. The Chachamim of our Mishnah agree with Rebbe. The ineligible witness did not warn the woman, therefore it remains a capital crime requiring a court of 23. Rabbi Meir holds like Rabbi Yossi. The ineligible witness disqualifies the others even without warning the perpetrator. Ravina's second explanation, number 7, is the Mishnah discusses a case where the perpetrator was warned by others and not the witnesses. Rabbi Yossi holds, based on the verse, Al pi shnayim eidim yakum davar, any verbal component of the accusation must be from the witnesses. The Tanna Kama holds the witnesses must testify to the crime. Others can warn. Chachamim of our Mishnah agree with the Tanna Kama. Others can warn her. It remains a capital crime. Rabbi Meir holds like Rabbi Yossi, witnesses must warn as well as testify. There are 2 forms of cross-examination. Chakiras, to determine the time and place of the crime. Without this, a testimony is invalid because it cannot be discredited. Bedikos examine details not directly related to their testimony. Its function is to determine the reliability of the witnesses. Number 8. Ravina's third explanation is based on a dispute between Ben Zakkai, who holds contradictory testimony concerning, for example, the size of tree branches under which the murder was committed disqualifies the testimony, whereas the Chachamim hold it does not disqualify. They are not expected to pay attention to details not related to the crime. The Chachamim of our Mishnah agree. Witnesses who contradicted each other during the cross-examination of the Dikos does not disqualify their testimony to her infidelity. Rabbi Meir holds like Ben Zakkai. The Gemara qualifies the law of kamli b'derabbanan. One who is culpable for 2 crimes is liable only for the greater of the 2. If one violates Shabbos, for example, by damaging another's property, he is exempt paying for damages. The verse states, "Im lo yeh ason anoshi yanesh." Rav Yosef explains the application of this principle to our Mishnah. The husband produced witnesses who testified concerning her infidelity and were consequently falsified by her father's witnesses. The original testimony without hazama would have resulted in the wife's execution and the loss of her ksuba. Therefore, when falsified, the witnesses are executed by kasher zaman but do not pay her ksuba. However, if the father's witnesses are falsified, they must pay the ksuba in addition to their execution. They falsely testified against 2 parties, the husband's witnesses for execution and the husband for defaming. Kamle b'derabbanan does not apply to 2 people. The Gemara concludes with a dispute between Rava and Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef holds that if a man claims he was sodomized against his will, he can testify against the sodomizer. However, if he consented, he cannot testify because he is a rasha, and the Torah warns, Al toshes yadcha im lios im ein chamas. Rava holds, Adam koravei tzalatzmo, he's a relative to himself. Testifying about himself is prohibited. In addition, ein adam mesim atzmo rasha. One cannot make himself a rasha. Therefore, he can testify against the sodomizer, even if he claimed the act was consensual. The court applies the rule of palgina and dibura. They divide the testimony. The part pertaining to the sodomizer is accepted. The part pertaining to himself is not accepted. Rabbi Yosef holds a testimony cannot be divided. If you're enjoying Daf 5, please click on the link below, subscribe, and become a sponsor. Thank you.